इसमें आवाज ही नहीं जा रही थी।
वेलकम सर।
धन्यवाद। सुन रहे?
जी जी आवाज आ रही है आपकी। जी 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 आ रही है, आप बोलें सर।
ये आयोजक गोस्वामी तुलसीदास महाविद्यालय और गोपाल जी जिसने मुझे संपर्क किया था उनको धन्यवाद। आज के विषय आपने रखा है इंडिया इन द पर्सपेक्टिव ग्लोबल सिनारियो अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड चैलेंजेस, और हमको विशेष टॉपिक नहीं दिया है, इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि आई एम फ्री टू स्पीक within the issue. Having said that, today we are having many difficulties or interesting things going on everywhere, including in South Asia. And Nepal being the, I think, one of the friendly neighbors of India, we also have to understand Indian perspective on how they try to move ahead. And I think also India has to understand how neighbors perceive about India, so that they can play a vital role in this global scenario. Having said that, I think I should tell you the fact that yes, India is doing very well. At least I could say was, and during the pandemic there are many questions even within raised within India by the people regarding kind of relief package and etc. by the Indian state. By the way, how many minutes I'll be given? Hello? May I know the time I am allocated?
Sir, as you wish.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Okay. Then I'll start with kind of role India should play in the neighborhood and within India. That is how I think, that is what is your perception. And I could see most of the participants from northern India, for example. Yes, definitely I could see speakers from Maharashtra and etc. But it seems this institution is based in North India, and that is why very many people from North India. And for you, it may not be difficult to understand how far Nepal is, what are issues between Nepal and India. So, as I mentioned, yes, definitely India is doing very good as far as economy, as far as international relations is concerned. But we should also realize the fact that unless we go together with neighborhood, for example, with our organization SARC or BIMSTEC, whatever, it may not be that much welcoming for India, or it may not be that much easy to India to assert for global power. And for example, today, and I'll talk about kind of duty of people like us, and then I can jump to the issue, for example. But you see, even if we are neighbors, for example, almost the same people, only political boundary is in between. But the understanding we have is a bit strange, I could say. For example, at least for a couple of days, the way there's TV channel and etc. being broadcasted by from Delhi. Tells us something that is quite unfortunate in a way, and there I see a kind of lack of understanding between two people. That is why media try to tell something political, and we people only support clapping this thing. This is not in India. I'm telling you because you must be watching more Indian TV. That's the case in Nepal as well. in Nepal also we are very happy to beat a drum against India nowadays, because we feel like, oh, India is behaving like anything as far as Nepal is concerned. And Nepalese also, those who see Indian media will be irritated, and then again this issue become more complicated. Having said that, why it has become so would be, for example, we also could not give due attention to Nepal-India relation. For example, you all are scholars, I know, and I also am from the same Biradri. And let us take an example of a kind of scholarship we built about neighborhood. Earlier, we have had a Nepal center, quite vibrant center in BHU, but I think that is also not that much functioning nowadays. And we could see lot many scholars earlier, for example, from Indian side, from Bihar, UP, from West Bengal, who were very much familiar with Nepal, because they could come study, they could go through a serious study, they had good interaction with Nepali society and polity. That is how we have had different understanding. But nowadays, in the name of globalization, I have my own take on globalization. I think many people, even from Bihar, UP, are familiar with kind of American society, American culture, American thing, but not aware of the neighborhood. For example, we are familiar with this McDonald and thing, but we are not familiar with Patna ke litti, because most of us might have forgotten this litti from Patna. So this is what is happening. And once we don't produce knowledge, for example, if scholars are not producing knowledge, if scholars are not coming with research papers, then how could society behave on Nepal India, or Nepal Pakistan, or Nepal Bhutan, or Nepal Bangladesh relation? That is why nowadays it is kind of a missed opportunity for us, because we couldn't do proper research, we couldn't pay proper attention to the neighborhood. That is why our issues has been taken away by kind of interest groups, or interest group led mini media. They could come up with whatever they feel like, and that is what is very unfortunate situation I could see today. And for example, I can give you a couple of examples. For example, nowadays, even if I speak something, then some of the Indian newspaper comes all the way saying that तुम लोग लाखों लोग इंडिया भेजते हो और फिर नेपाल के बारे में बात करते हो. While saying so, they do not have any clue about kind of poorest of the poor people का relation between two countries. हमारे पुअर भी उधर डे टू डे काम में जाते हैं, और आपके पुअर भी बिग नंबर में बॉर्डर क्रॉस करके इधर आता है. इसका सोशियोलॉजिकल एनालिसिस क्या है कि यू सी वी हैव नॉट dignified every labor in the village. That is why to do small labor, for example, छोटा मोटा काम जो करना है, they want to go away and they want to cross the border. That is what is happening from Nepal. That is what is happening from Lucknow. That is what is happening from bordering areas of India as well. For them, yes, definitely those who can afford money, they could go to Qatar and etc. But if they do not have money and they do not have passport, they just cross the border, come towards Nepal side, do small kind of business or something, and then collect some money and go back. That is what is happening, and it's almost the same number. I remember while Nepal was facing earthquake, more than 300 buses came from the government from UP, I think sent by the government to rescue its own people, and that is where you could see number is, I think, huge. Though from this UP and Bihar to come to Nepal and do their business. And if you see even remittance exchange between two countries, I think India gets more remittance from Nepal than Nepal gets from India. And in that, yes, definitely Indian business persons are also in Nepal. That is why they earn more money. That is how they pay. I mean, that is how remittance amount is big. But as far as poorest of the poor are there, I think almost a similar number of exchange is happening between two countries. And yeah, I don't know how many of you came all the way to Nepal, towards Nepal border. There is huge number of people, for example, in the bordering area, who could survive due to kind of our exchange. For example, exchange of goods. Nepalese going India. That is how their travel industry is working. For example, rickshaw to car to bus to jeep, everything would be operated, and that is how very many people survive out of mobility of Nepali, and that is the same towards Nepal as well. And but you see how people forget this kind of relation between two countries and start chanting slogan against each other. So that is why I think my thesis would be, for example, for we scholar community, my proposition would be, let us talk more, let us focus on this neighborhood policy. Unless we focus on neighborhood policy, unless we understand neighborhood, unless we go together with neighborhood, I don't think that India can rise as it wants. And that is why you have to suggest your government, unless you take all neighbors together, how could you pose your image as global power? This is very unlikely scenario. And definitely, if we see kind of scenario today, for example, yes, Modi ji did very good in the beginning while pandemic started coming all the way to South Asia. I remember he convened a meeting of South Asian leadership, and even proposed some mechanism to address jointly against this pandemic at the regional level. And but you see what happened about this today. Then question comes all the way to the largest democracy, the largest country, even the largest power in South Asia, India. Definitely, once you initiate, it is your duty to implement, facilitate, or suggest how to implement it. But if I remember correctly, this COVID emergency fund, that is almost $22 million fund, where India committed almost half of the money, 10 million US dollars, and even countries like Bhutan committed $100,000, Nepal committed some $831,000, Pakistan committed $5 million, $3 million, sorry, Sri Lanka committed 0.5 million. So it's there was a regional initiative, and thanks to Prime Minister Modi. But where it is today, after 90 or 100 days. So whether this money has been utilized to combat this corona? No. And why it is so was kind of proposed by Pakistan, because Pakistan proposed this fund be utilized through SAARC Secretariat. Yes, definitely we have SAARC Secretariat. That is also okay to do it, but why not Modi convince partners, South Asian partners, how to use this? And why not India help others to utilize this very fund? Because it is your initiative, and you have to have command to implement it. That is how only relation would be going okay. But you see, we are having very difficult situation as far as Nepal-India relation is concerned. Today only my parliament is amending the constitution, because it feels like it has to incorporate some territories which were not in our map earlier, and that is where India-Nepal this border issue comes. and it is border issue which is in being pending for years, and Nepal kept raising this issue. Why not we go for border agreement? But India, I don't know what happened to India. Yes, definitely we are having very good relation, but we didn't have any agreement about border for years. Yes, definitely we have outlined, but there were a lot many claims and counterclaims by both the countries. And if it was settled today, it would have been very good for two countries to have good relation. But yes, on the one hand there is a pandemic, on the other we are chanting slogan against each other in the name of border, and you must be feeling a bit odd because while we raise this issue, China, you are having fight with China, but we don't have anything with China. China and India has have their own issues, but Nepal raised this issue because your home minister inaugurated that road, which could go all the way through the disputed land. And if it was resolved earlier, I don't think that Nepal had anything to argue against India today. But why not India could resolve small problems with its own friend? And I time and again raise that we are having very good relation, and we are in fact a special friend of India, and India is our special friend because of couple of points. For example, your chief of the army staff would be the Journal of Nepal Army, and my chief of the army staff would be honorary journal of your Indian Army. This kind of relation you hardly find globally, and you know we are having open border, we are having equal treatment to each other, except Indian can't buy land right here, but we can even buy land in India. Definitely we can work here and there. We can reside either in Nepal or India without having any further document. These are the special provision we have. And but why we couldn't resolve this small issue in the normal situation, and why India all the way had to inaugurate that road, while Nepal, India, globally we're having problem of we're fighting against this corona issue. These are the questions from Nepali friends. And Delhi is not happy if you raise questions, because they feel like no Nepal, how could Nepal raise the question? But while saying so, I think Delhi has to forget kind of this colonial bureaucratic foreign policy, because now, yes, definitely within India also, poorest of the poor, marginalized Dalits, everyone can come up with their own issue, because they know they are aware of the information because of digital transformation. They have their own mobile to access every document from here and there. That is what is the case. Nepal is not Nepal of 1950 or of 1816. In Nepal also we have educated people, we have good mind, good people. Definitely this is not to work against India, but to work for their own nation. And while working for their own nation, they have issue. For example, they may have their way to conduct foreign policy. They may have their way to conduct their development activities. That has to be understood by India, and for that I think academia like you, like us, have to play a very important role. Unless we play important role, then some interest group and interest group led media will fool us, and that is how our relation will be further deteriorated. And then if neighbors are not happy, then I think from every corner they can create a problem to largest democracy, India. And that is how, yes, definitely India has opportunity to be global power, but it has to come all the way to bring neighborhood also on board. Otherwise, I think it's a bit difficult situation for every countries in South Asia. Definitely, Nepal will be suffered, other neighbors will be suffered, but if we are suffering, then again it may not be good for India to say that I am the global power, because in the neighborhood, if something wrong is happening, how could India be happy? I think it is mutual way to grow each other, mutual way to share happiness within each other, and definitely with countries like Nepal. That is what I have to say. Thank you.